You sitting there right now, aren't you? Listening to me, wondering where this is going, wondering what I'm about to drop on you is going to shake your world up. You're waiting. You're curious. Maybe you're even a little nervous. Good. That's exactly where I want you, because today, right now, in this moment, I'm about to take you on a ride. A ride so real, so raw, so deep that if you blink, if you tune out for even a second, you might miss the one thing that could change everything for you. And trust me, you don't want to miss this. If you miss this video, if you click away, if you let your mind wander, you're not just missing words. You're missing the spark, the fire, the secret that's been hiding inside you all along, waiting for someone like me to pull it out and shove it in your face. So don't miss it. Stay with me. Let's go. Picture this, a young guy just like you maybe sitting in a room. He's tired, he's beat down. Life's been throwing punches at him left and right, and he's barely standing. He's got dreams, sure, but they feel so far away, like they're slipping through his fingers every time he reaches for them. Sound familiar? Maybe that's you right now. Maybe you're that guy. Maybe you're sitting there thinking, man, I want more, I want better, but how? How do I get there? How do I break through? And here's the thing. He's asking the same question. He's looking for answers. He's desperate. Hungry, but he doesn't even know how hungry he really is, not yet. Not until someone steps into that room and flips his whole world upside down. Now imagine this. A voice cuts through the silence, deep, strong, unrelenting. It's not gentle, it's not polite. It's a voice that grabs you by the soul and shakes you awake. And that voice belongs to a man named Eric Thomas. You've heard of him, right? The hip hop preacher, the guy who doesn't mess around. The guy who's been through the mud, the pain, the struggle, and came out the other side roaring like a lion. And he's standing there looking at this kid, staring into his eyes, and he says something so simple, so powerful, it's like a bomb going off. He says, how bad do you want it? Pause. Let that sink in. How bad do you want it? Not how much do you think about it? Not how much do you wish for it? How bad do you want it? And that's where it starts, folks. That's where this journey takes off. Well, but we're not there yet. Oh no, we're just warming up. Stay with me, because if you miss what's coming, you're gonna regret it. You don't wanna miss this. So this kid, he looks up at Eric, he's confused. He's like, what do you mean, how bad do I want it? I'm here, aren't I? I'm trying, I'm doing my best. And Eric just smiles, not a soft smile, not a comforting one. It's a smile that says, oh, you think you're ready? You think you've got this figured out? Boy, you ain't seen nothing yet. And then Eric leans in closer, his voice dropping low, intense, like he's about to share a secret the universe has been hiding from everyone. He says, let me tell you a story. And now you're leaning in too, aren't you? You're hooked. You want to know what he's about to say. You can feel it. That tingle in your chest, that little spark of something big coming your way. Don't turn away now. Don't miss this video, because what's coming next, it's going to hit you hard. Eric starts talking about a young man, a guy who wanted to be successful, wanted it so bad he could taste it. This guy wasn't just dreaming about fancy cars or big houses or stacks of cash. No. He wanted something deeper. He wanted freedom. He wanted purpose. He wanted to look in the mirror and know he was worth. But here's the catch. He didn't know how to get there. He was stuck, lost, spinning his wheels. So one day he hears about this guru, this wise man who's supposed to have all the answers. And this kid, he's desperate, so he tracks him down. He shows up at this guru's place, knocks on the door and says, I want to be successful. I want it bad. Show me how. The guru looks at him, sizes him up and says, meet me at the beach tomorrow morning, 4 a.m. sharp. Now, you're thinking, the beach, 4 a.m.? What's this got to do with success? And that's exactly what the kid's thinking too. He's confused. He's skeptical. But he's hungry enough to show up, and that's where it gets wild. So the next morning, the kid's there. It's dark, it's cold, the waves are crashing in the distance, and he's standing on the sand, shivering, waiting for this guru to drop some wisdom. The guru shows up, calm as can be, and says, walk out into the water with me. The kid's like, what? Water is freezing, but he follows. He's ankle deep, then knee deep, and he's thinking, okay, this is weird, but maybe there's a point. Then the guru keeps going, waist deep, chest deep, and now the kid's starting to panic. The water's cold, it's dark. He can't see the bottom, and he's like, yo, what are we doing out here? And the guru just keeps walking, doesn't say a word until they're so far out, the water's up to their necks. The kid's heart is pounding. Yours is too, right? You're feeling it. You're wondering where this is going. Don't stop listening. Don't miss this video. Because what happens next? It's insane. The guru turns to the kid, looks him dead in the eye, and says, how bad do you want it? The kid's like, I want it bad, man. I told you. And before he can finish, the guru grabs him, and shoves his head under the water. Boom, just like that. The kid's thrashing, flailing, bubbles exploding around him, and the guru's holding him down. Seconds tick by. 5, 10, 15. The kid's lungs are screaming. His chest is burning. He's fighting with everything he's got to break free, but the guru's grip is iron. 20 seconds. 25. The kid's starting to see spots, his body shutting down, and right when he thinks it's over, right when he's about to give up, the guru yanks him up. The kid gasps, choking, sucking in air like it's the sweetest thing he's ever tasted, and the guru, cool as ever, looks at him and says, when you were underwater, what did you want more than anything in the world? The kid, still coughing, says, to breathe. I wanted to breathe. And the guru nods, slow and steady, and says, when you want success as bad as you wanted to breathe just now, then you'll have it. Whew. Let that hit you. Let that sink in deep. When you want success as bad as you wanted to breathe, not when you think about it, not when you hope for it, when you want it so bad you can't live without it. The kid's standing there dripping wet, shivering, eyes wide, and it clicks. It finally clicks. And Eric's telling this story to the guy in the room, and that guy's eyes are wide too, and yours are too, aren't they? You're feeling that chill down your spine, that fire in your gut. You're starting to wonder, how bad do I want it? How bad do I really want it? And we're not done yet. Oh no, Eric's just getting started. Don't miss this. Stay with me. If you click away now, you're walking away from something huge. Eric's voice ramps up now, filling the room, filling your ears, filling your soul. He's pacing, sweating, pouring every ounce of himself into this. He says, most of you say you want to be successful, but you don't want it bad enough. You want it, but you're not willing to fight for it. You're not willing to bleed for it. You're not willing to drown for it. And you're sitting there nodding because you know he's right. You've been coasting, haven't you? You've been dreaming but not doing. You've been wanting but not chasing. And Eric's not letting you off the hook. He's coming for you. He's coming for all of us. He says you got to want it like your life depends on it, like your next breath depends on it, because guess what? It does. Now the room's electric. The kid listening to Eric is on the edge of his seat. And you are too. You can feel the tension building, the stakes rising. Eric's not just talking, he's preaching, he's yelling, he's begging you to wake up. He says, listen to me, success ain't easy. It ain't pretty. It's not gonna come knocking on your door with a smile and a handshake. You gotta go get it. You gotta hunt it down. You gotta be obsessed with it. And you're thinking, obsessed? That sounds intense. That sounds scary. And it is. But that's the point. Eric's not here to coddle you. He's here to push you, to test you, to make you ask yourself the hard questions. How bad do you want it? How bad are you willing to fight for it? Don't tune out now. Don't miss this video, because the good stuff, the real stuff is still coming. He keeps going, his voice like thunder. You think success is gonna wait for you? You think it's gonna sit there while you make excuses, while you sleep in, while you scroll through your phone wasting time? He's pointing now, like he's pointing right at you through the screen. No, no, no. Success don't care about your feelings. It don't care about your comfort zone. It's out there waiting for the ones who want it bad enough to take it. And you start to feel it, aren't you? That itch. That restlessness, that little voice in your head saying, maybe he's right. Maybe I've been playing small. Maybe I've been holding back. And Eric's not slowing down. He's building it up layer by layer, pulling you in deeper, making you hang on every word. He says, let me tell you something. When I was homeless, sleeping on the streets, eating out of trash cans, I didn't want success. I needed it. I needed it like I needed air. Like I needed water, like I needed to live. And I wasn't waiting for nobody to hand it to me. I went after it. I clawed my way up. I stayed up all night. I worked when my body was screaming to stop because I wanted it that bad. And now you're picturing it, Eric, young, broke alone, fighting through the darkness. You're feeling his pain, his hunger, his fire. And you're wondering, could I do that? Could I push that hard? Could I want it that bad? Keep listening. Don't miss this. We're getting closer to the edge. and you don't want to fall off now. He's pacing faster now, his voice rising, cracking with emotion. You got to sacrifice. You hear me? Sacrifice. You want to sleep 8 hours? Fine. But don't cry when somebody else who's sleeping 3 hours passes you by. You want to party every weekend? Cool. But don't complain when the ones who stayed home grinded lap you. You want to watch TV all day? Go ahead. But don't be mad when the ones who turn it off and got to work leave you in the dust. And you feeling that sting, that jab, because you know he's talking to you. You know you've made those choices. You've picked comfort over hustle. You've picked easy over epic. And Eric's calling you out. He's daring you to step up, to want it more, to want it worse. And then he drops this. He says there's a difference between wanting something and being desperate for it. Most of you, you're just wanting. You're dabbling. You're dipping your toes in the water. But the ones who make it, the ones who climb to the top, they're desperate. They're drowning and they're fighting to breathe. They're starving and they're clawing for every crumb. That's how bad they want it. And now your heart's racing. You're thinking about your own life, your own dreams, your own fight. Are you desperate? Or are you starving? Or are you just comfortable? Don't look away now. Don't miss this video, because Eric's about to take it to another level, and you need to hear it. He stops pacing. He stands still, staring straight ahead like he's looking into your soul. His voice drops low again, almost a whisper, but it's heavy, loaded with truth. Let me ask you something, he says. When you go to bed at night, are you satisfied? Are you cool with where you at? Or do you lie there staring at the ceiling, knowing you could have done more, knowing you should have done more, knowing you're letting your dreams slip away, and you're frozen? You're caught. Because you've had those nights. You felt that ache, that quiet, nagging feeling that you're not living up to what you could be. And Eric knows it. He sees it. He's peeling back the layers, exposing the raw, messy truth you've been hiding from. He says, you got to get uncomfortable. You got to get mad. You got to get sick and tired of being sick and tired, because that's when it happens. That's when you flip the switch. That's when you stop playing and start pushing. And you're nodding now, even if you don't realize it. You feeling that anger bubbling up, that frustration, that hunger you didn't even know was there. Eric's waking it up. He's shaking it loose. And you're starting to think, maybe I've been asleep too long. Maybe it's time to get up, to get after it, to want it bad, real bad. Don't miss this. Stay with me. The best part's still ahead. Now he's back in full force, his voice booming again. You think it's about talent? You think it's about luck? Nah, fam. It's about heart. It's about guts. It's about how bad you want it. When nobody's watching, when you're tired, when you're broke, when you're hurting, that's when it counts. And you picturing it, those moments when you've quit, when you've walked away, when you've let the excuses win. And Eric's saying, no more. No more giving up. No more settling. He's saying you got to outwork everybody. You got to outlast everybody. You got to want it more than the next guy, because the next guy, he's coming for it too. And then he hits you with this. I'm telling you right now, there's somebody out there working harder than you, somebody who wants it worse than you, somebody who's not sleeping, not eating, not stopping until they get it. And if you don't step up, if you don't match that energy, they're going to take it from you. They're going to take your spot. They're going to take your dream. And now you're scared. You're fired up. You're feeling that urgency, that heat, because you don't want to lose. You don't want to be the one left behind. You want to be the one who takes it. Don't miss this video. Don't miss this moment. We're building to something massive, and you've got to be here for it. Eric's sweating now, his voice raw, his energy unstoppable. You got to visualize it, he says. See it, feel it, taste it every day, every night. You got to live it in your mind before it happens in your life. You got to believe it's yours before you even touch it. Because if you don't believe it, you'll never get it. You'll quit, you'll fold, you'll drown. And you're closing your eyes, imagining it, your dream, your goal, your victory. You're starting to see it, aren't you? That thing you've been chasing, that thing you've been too afraid to admit you want, is right there. It's close. But you've got to want it bad enough to grab it. He says pain is temporary, failure is temporary, but regret lasts forever. You want to live with that? You want to look back in 10 years, 20 years and say, I could have done it, but I didn't want it bad enough? And that hits you like a freight train, regret. That word echoes in your head, heavy, haunting, You don't want that. You don't want to be that person. You want to be the one who fought, the one who won, the one who wanted it so bad that made it happen. And Eric's pushing you there. He's pulling you there. He's daring you to go all in. And now we're at the tipping point. The room's silent except for Eric's voice. And he's slowing down, letting every word land like a hammer. I'm not telling you it's going to be easy, he says. I'm telling you it's going to be worth it, but only if you want it bad enough. Only if you're willing to go through the fire. Only if you're ready to drown and keep fighting to breathe. And you're holding your breath now, waiting for the payoff, waiting for the moment it all comes together. Because here it comes, here it comes, here it comes, here it comes, here it comes. Because here it comes, it's coming. Because here it comes, it's coming. Bigger than all this respect herb should catch its eye to it because it lives, it stays, it fights it forever. So I'm asking you right here, right now, how bad do you want it? How bad do you want your dream, your life, your future? Are you going to sit there and let it slip away? Or are you going to stand up right now and say, I want it. I want it so bad I can't sleep. I want it so bad I can't eat. I want it so bad I'll do whatever it takes to get it. And you're on your feet now, aren't you? You're feeling it. You're ready. You're saying yes in your head, yes in your heart, yes with every fiber of your being. And then he seals it. When you want to succeed as bad as you want to breathe, he says, then you'll be successful. Not before, not until. When you want it that bad, nothing can stop you, nothing. And there it is. The truth, the key, the fire you've been waiting for. You're burning now, alive now. You wanted suspense, you got it. You wanted emotion, it's pouring out of you. You wanted the secret, it's yours, but only if you hold on to it. Only if you act on it. Only if you want it bad enough. So what's it going to be? Are you walking away from this video the same person you were when you started, or are you stepping into something new, something bold, something unstoppable? Don't miss this. Don't let it fade. Take it, run with it, live it. Because if you miss this video, if you miss this moment, you're missing the chance to find out just how bad you really want it. And trust me, you want it bad. Now go get it.